Hello. Alright, today we are going to be trying out a new recipe. I saw it online. It's something I never ever had before, and I'm very curious about it. It is called a southern tomato pie. Me, I'm from the South. I love tomatoes. I love pies. Well, we'll see how it does. First thing you want to do is you want to get your tomatoes. You want to prep your tomatoes. It said peel them and cut them. Today I've got some fresh Hanover tomatoes, but as you can see, they are looking a little rough. They're still going to be delicious. Absolutely delicious, I know for a fact. But we got to go ahead and prepare these. Just because they look like that doesn't mean they're bad. That just means that they're real. They're natural. This is what real produce looks like. This isn't that crap you go out to the local grocery store and buy that is not even fully ripe yet. It's pulled before it's ripe, shipped out green, and then by the time it gets anywhere, it starts to take on color, and it has no flavor. This is the real stuff. This is what people have been living off of for millions of years. So hang tight, and we'll start getting these prepped. First thing you're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to peel these. So to peel them, we're gonna take our favorite paring knife. If you ever watch your grandmama cook, you know this is the most important tool in the kitchen. You take the paring knife and you're just gonna cut a small X. Don't go too deep. Just make sure you get an X in the bottom of your tomato. Show it again. Take your tomato. Oh, I need to sharpen this thing. Yeah, definitely need to sharpen this thing. Alright, well, let's just go like that. Use the tip. Cut an X. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to put these in some boiling water. We're not going to boil them for too long. We're just going to boil them long enough to soften the skins. And then once we do that, we're going to take them out the water, put them in some cold water, and start to peel them. While everything is getting prepped, one of the things you want to do is you want to blind bake the crust. All that means is pre-baking the crust, so that way it doesn't get soggy when you actually go and prepare everything and put everything in there, finally do the final bake. So all you gotta do, I'm using a store-bought crust because I'm lazy. They work just as good. This is just a simple recipe I'm trying out. I don't want to go all out. So I'm just going to line a baking pan with the crust, throw it in the oven at 400 for like 10, maybe 12 minutes until it sets up. Don't forget to poke some holes in the crust so that way it doesn't develop little air bubbles inside of it, and then we'll cook unevenly later during the second bake. Also, some people will put baking weights in it, which are like little ball bearing type things, or even dried beans. But again, we're not going crazy. We're just trying out a recipe. So just poke some holes in it, throw it in the oven, and let it cool down, and we'll be ready for the filling. All right, we are going to go ahead. Ooh, that's a bad light. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start doing the tomatoes. Like I said, it's real easy. You have some hot water. You have some cold water. You just take your tomatoes, place them into the hot water. Careful not to drop them from up high, otherwise they'll splash on you and burn you. And you're going to want to put these in here for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, no longer than that. You're going to take them, scoop them out of the pot, put them into the cold water. Let that sit for 2 to 3 minutes till they're finally fully cooled down, and then we can start peeling. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and show you how to start peeling the tomatoes. Now that they have been cooked, you can see that X has really become pronounced. So all you do is you just take a paring knife, and you take it and you just peel it on back. Move over to the next bit, get a little slice, pull it back slowly. And it's just that easy. A little heads up though, it is a little bit messy. Your hands aren't going to be the cleanest, but that's why they have dish soap. Alright, go ahead and peel all the tomatoes. Alright, once everything is nice and peeled, go ahead and slice them up. I am going to take out a lot of excess moisture by putting some salt on it. Salt will draw out a lot of the moisture, and I'm going to put it in a colander with a bowl beneath it. And then, just to separate some of that, you can kind of like squeeze them, pull some moisture out. But this way, I kind of can leave them intact. I'm not going to break them or smush them up. You can leave their same texture, but we can definitely draw out a lot of the liquid. So right here we have a bunch of tomatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and give it that should just be about enough. Get in with your hands, just kind of mix it up a little bit. You don't want everything all nice and mixed together. Man, these tomatoes are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to let that sit for about 10-15 minutes, come back, and we shall be ready for final assembly. Alright, now we're going to start working on the topping, I guess it is. It's going to be real simple. It is a half a cup of said onion. I'm doing green onion. That was the first recipe I saw called for green onions. And that sounded amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the green onions, half cup of that. It says about a quarter cup of fresh basil, which is probably about like 8 to 10 leaves, large leaves. Chop that up. 2 cups of shredded cheese. I'm doing Colby. Something that's going to melt nice and gooey. Then a half a cup of mayonnaise, which kind of throws me off, but I think that'll also add to the creaminess, so I'm definitely going to put that in there. And it also calls for, let's see, a shot of hot sauce, which I don't think will be too bad. I think I might omit that, but I might end up adding it to the finished product. We're going to go ahead and get everything chopped up, mixed up, and then we're coming up to final assembly. Alright, we have our fresh basil, which we're just going to go ahead and toss it in a mixing bowl. I say mixing bowl, it's Tupperware. I ain't really got an excuse. I'm shameful. It's alright. Alright, we got some green onion. Next up, we're going to be looking at some cheese. And again, just about 2 cups of cheese. We'll say that's probably going to do it. Yeah. And some mayonnaise. Gonna give that a good stir and be right back. Alright, it looks like I messed up a little bit while doing the blind bake. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but I cooked it a little bit too long. See how it's starting to brown on the edges right there? You don't want to cook it that much. And also, there's a little pocket right here, because I didn't poke enough holes in it, so it trapped some air. So I'm going to go ahead and poke it, kind of press it down. It'll still be perfectly fine for what I want to do, but now the next time I bake it, that just might get a little bit too dark, but not a big deal. Okay, the tomatoes have been resting a while. Looks like they're just about good to go. Let's take a look underneath it. See, that is all the liquid that would have been in the bottom of your pie. So we're going to go ahead and start final assembly. What you're going to do is you're going to put a layer of tomatoes into the crust, and then on top you're going to put the cheese mixture, and then we'll throw it in the oven and bake it at 350 until golden brown. I just ordered tomato pie and I'm making a tomato pie. You want to do the honors and put it in the oven?
Okay.
Thank you!
Found him.
All right. First thing, don't take it out of the pan immediately like I did. It kind of falls apart. Definitely, you want to let it rest for, good 20 minutes because obviously it's a bunch of melted cheese and super hot tomatoes. But we are about to come up to the taste testing portion, so let's see how it is. Spin it a little bit. Spin the plate for me. Mm-hmm. Go cross section. Alright, you want to give it a try?
Mm-hmm. Oh, cheese. I forgot tomato in that. Okay. That was really good.
What's it taste like?
It's tomatoey, but I think the tomatoes are awesome. But I think this topping, the cheese topping with those like chives, I think are in there. Mm-hmm. That really.
That's the flavoring.
Oh yeah, it tastes so good with the tomato. Yeah, you've got to give this a try.
Yeah.
Explain, like, it's like...
Alright, yeah, I just tried the pie. It's very interesting. Obviously, a lot of the flavor is coming from the topping with the, but it's very creamy, I guess because of the mayonnaise, cheesy, and then it's got the onion flavor throughout. You get a couple good bites, big, powerful punches of it. But the tomato is just, it's just underlying her. It's a great little pie. So I'm definitely excited. I probably might make this again some other time. Definitely one of those things that you need to cook when you have good ingredients. I wouldn't recommend doing this, I would recommend doing this in March where all the tomatoes are just crap and the only thing you can find are tomatoes from, Kroger. It's just not going to be the same. There's just going to be no flavors. It's going to be a watery, gooey mess. But it's definitely worth trying out. Good old-fashioned Southern tomato pie. Thank you guys, and have a good day. Have a good day.